in the west coast of Africa. All right, on the west coast of Africa. And the west coast of Africa is where we were taken from and thrown on slave ships and brought into slavery. Excuse me. All right, but what you had is those people that came over on those slave ships were who? Israelites. They were not Africans. And we're going to show that what they were tribes of Israelites living amongst the Africans. All right, and these tribes were the ones that were thrown into slavery. First of all, quickly, let's get page 129 in the book From Babylon to Timbuktu. All right, written by the scholar Rudolph R. Windsor. And let's get read the bottom of the page, the very bottom paragraph in page 129. All right, read that for me if you can.
All right. Now we can understand why writers like Frederick Ratzel consider the tribes along the Loango and...
Jump down to the next paragraph.
Okay.
Not the next page, the next paragraph, right down here.
I see, sorry. It is certain that many black Jews of Portugal,
right,
São Tomé, and Angola,
which these were countries over there near Africa, go ahead,
who became victims of the Inquisition and Portuguese persecution.
Right, so it says many black Jews, showing that what, the real Jews are black, the scholars bringing it out, go ahead,
were sold in slave trade.
They were sold in the slave trade. So who were on those slave ships? They were so-called black Jews, Israelites. Once again, being an Israelite or a Jew is not a religion, it's a nationality, meaning that it's the nation you come from. You're born an Israelite. All right, just like you say you're born an African American, you're born an Israelite, even though the true name of the African Americans are the Israelites. Read on.
This Atlantic slave trade lasted more than 400 years, from 1444 to about 1880 in some parts of South America.
Now, quick fast, get page 127 to show that there were Jews living among the Africans. Black Israelites are people living amongst the Africans, and these were who went on in slavery in the slave ships. Read that, page 127.
The black Jews of Angola,
right,
in the country called the Gabon, near the Congo,
right,
there were black Jews known as the Bavumbu.
Right.
Some writers call them by various names, such as Mavambo, Mayomba, Mayumba, and Mavombu.
Read.
Abbe Proyart, a French writer, says that these Jews held the coast of Laongo between the Congo River and Rio Muni in Gabon.
Right. Now let's jump down where it says in appearance.
In appearance, these black Jews are hardly distinguishable from the other Africans.
Go ahead.
It has been reported that these Jews practiced some divination and magic like native Africans.
So they were corrupted by the Africans. Go ahead.
However, they observe some Jewish ceremonies and live in separate communities.
And live in what?
Separate communities.
Separate communities. Go ahead.
Not considering themselves native Africans.
So now you have our people over there and had our people over there who were living separate from the Africans. That's why when they came to throw us in slavery, it was so easy, because we lived separately from them and throw us on the slave ships. So it's showing you proof in this history book, along with the other ones we brought out, that what? The real Jews are so-called black people, people of color, and they were on the west coast of Africa, and they got taken into slavery. So now on the color, further proving the color of the Jews, we're going to go into what are called icon books. When you go into it, an icon is a painting or pictures that ancient Christians painted of the people that are in the Bible, such as Christ, the disciples, and so on and so forth, right? And when we go into these icons, which are holy relics, it's going to show that what? The people of the Bible were so-called black people. But now, all the early paintings that you added of the disciples, Christ, Mary, and the prophets, they were painted as so-called black people. Why? Because that's the truth that's in the Bible. The Bible tells you that these people are so-called black. These Israelites, these Jews are so-called black. All right? But now it's during the time of the 14 and 1500s, the Renaissance, when these paintings were destroyed, excuse me, dark paintings destroyed, or painted over to look white for white supremacy. All right? But now, a lot of these icon books showed you some paintings or icons that were not destroyed. This is an icon book called Russian Icons, further proving that the people in the Bible, the Jews, the Israelites, are black. And this is the heritage of you so-called American Negroes West Indians and Hispanics. You are the real Jews. Now I'm going to turn to page 10 of this book, or should I say plate number 10 of this book. Bear with me 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. I'm sorry. Page number 39. And as you can see, this is a picture, you look at the caption, of the holy apostles Peter and Paul with scenes from their life. You know, Peter, which is the one without the receding hairline, showing that what color is his skin? He's a brown-skinned man. He was the head apostle of Christ, so-called black man, showing that we have historical proof to back up the facts that we bring out of the Bible in these history books. You look at the other brother, that's Paul, the Apostle Paul, the one with the receding hairline. All right, look at that. There's no doubt that these are so-called black men. All right. So this is the proof. And they were what? They were Israelites, Jews, showing the real Jews, the real Israelites are so-called black people. All right. So the people that Christ rode with were so-called black, that were teaching the word, the disciples. Now here's another picture on page 10 of the Madonna. The Madonna is what? A picture of Mary, the mother of Christ, holding a baby Christ. And it shows them obviously what? Brown skin, so-called black. Mary was a Jew. She was an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. And when you read the Bible, it tells you that what? Christ himself was a Jew. Look at him as a child. They say that he was what? The king of the Jews, right? Now let's get the disciples. This is another page. This is page 85 out of the same book, Russian Icons. Now remember, these are ancient paintings that were painted soon after the disciples walked the earth. Now this is a picture of the disciples with Christ in the middle. And what color are all of them? So-called black men. This is when the Holy Spirit descended on them in the day of Pentecost. Why are they all so-called black men? Because all the disciples were Israelites. They were Jews. And like we've been proven through history books and through the scriptures, the real Jews are so-called black people. The real Jews are you so-called American Negroes, West Indians, and Hispanics, and you're not Africans. We need to come back to our nationality, that we're the real Jews, and the laws that our forefathers broke, which are found in the Bible. Laws that they don't teach you in religions, right? And also, that's why we fell, because we broke these laws. Now let's get page 108. All right, to further prove that the real Jews are what? The real Jews are so-called black people. This book, Russian Icons. Icons, once again, are paintings that ancient artists painted of the disciples, right? Before the time of the Renaissance, when they began to whitewash the paintings and try to paint everybody to look white. Now, this is Christ entering Jerusalem. You read about this in Matthew chapter 21. Now, look at the Jews surrounding Christ, so-called black. Look at Christ himself, dark-skinned man. Very easy to see. Now let's get another picture of Christ's cousin, Jesus Christ's cousin, John the Baptist, who was beheaded for teaching the word. This is a picture of John the Baptist, see? Brown-skinned man. Dark skin. Easy to see that he's brown skinned. You can't say that the picture got dirty or whatever, because how's it so evenly colored? And look at his robe. His robe is red, and the rest of it is brown. All right, those are just a few pictures. Let's get this other book called the Russian Icon. It's another book where we're going to show different icons, or once again, icons are ancient paintings of biblical characters, biblical people. Now this is the Russian Icon. Excuse me, and this is page 137. Should I say, right, page 137. There's another picture of Peter and Paul. Remember, Peter was the head apostle. Bear with me 1 second. There you go. Peter and Paul. Remember, Peter was the head apostle that rode with Christ.